What up, everybody? It's Joe Rock and Roll. This is Monday, December the 14th, 2015, and this is in the news. You know, this weekend I watched the various talk shows like Meet the Press and the McLaughlin Group, and one of the topics, of course, was Trump's comments on banning temporarily Muslim immigration until we can understand what's going on. One thing that both of these shows failed to mention was in 1979, after the Iranians took Americans hostage in the Iranian hostage crises for 444 days, Jimmy Carter issued an executive order banning visas to be given to Iranians or Iranian citizens. He also required that all Iranians in the U.S. on a visa should check in, and those that had overstayed their visa were to be deported, and they were. No one failed. They all failed to mention that, right? This was 1979, and it affected Muslims, all Muslims. I don't know that there were any Christian or other groups from Iran that were here on student visas or whatever. So it has been done before, and it is the president's obligation to keep the country safe. And if there is a threat, an external threat, that's his responsibility. Look, think about it. Whether we declare our war against radical Islam or the literal interpretation of Islam, they have declared war against us. Since 1979, starting with the Iranian Revolution, Islam, in one way or the other, has declared war in the United States. The latest iteration, called ISIS, or the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, has declared war in the United States. So whether we want to recognize it and declare war back or not, we are at war with this ideology. Okay, so what a lot of these pundits and old sleepy eyes, Chuck Todd, on If It's Sunday, It's Meet the Press, who appears to be, obviously he's a liberal, he's a Democrat, but he wants to sell the narrative that there are three tracks: a Tea Party track, a Christian conservative track, and an other track, and Donald Trump is on the other track, and with about 30% in each of these tracks combined. There's multiple candidates in each track, except for Donald Trump's track. And unless Trump can gain the support from the other tracks, he believes that it would be Ted Cruz that gets the nomination. And it's really, I think, wishful thinking at this point, because the momentum continues to be with Donald Trump, who has all of the experience to make America great again, and actually has results, proven results. Now, Ted Cruz has talked a lot in the Senate, but really got nothing done. Now, it's good that he has proven to be a principled conservative in fighting for conservative values and whatnot, but he has failed to produce anything. Now, it's not maybe necessarily his fault, but it goes to his leadership skills. So Donald Trump, who has been successful in many different businesses, so, not politics directly, but, in construction, in entertainment, in, fashion, in, whatever, education with the Trump University. He's been, involved in many different things, and he's got a lot of experience. And of course, he's made a lot of money doing it. And in the process, he's made a lot of other people a lot of money. So it's clear that Donald Trump has this experience. But getting back to the Muslim controversy, what's so funny is Donald Trump talks about this on the campaign speeches, on the stump speeches, and if you watch them, the cameras are literally locked onto Donald Trump's face or wherever he is. You can see the people behind him, but you don't see the crowds. And in previous events, Donald has said, pan the cameras, guys. Pan the cameras. Show the crowd. And they've never moved the cameras. Now, in this one of the last events that I just saw, and I'll put a link to it below, he was in South Carolina, and there was 2 or 3 protesters that jumped up, started screaming, And it was only then that the cameras panned. And when they panned, they revealed how big, how massive Trump's audiences are. So these protesters that are trying to somehow affect Donald Trump are actually forcing the media, which has been dishonest, to show what's going on, right? That Donald Trump's audiences are huge, they're massive, and he has a lot of support. So that is just something that to be considered, that Donald Trump continues to rise in the polls as more and more people listen to his message, realize that this guy is serious, his policies actually are based on common sense and just standard, normal American values, and political correctness is out the window because it's not been working. I would ask you to ask yourself, how's that been working, right? How's it working for you? How's it working for the country? It's not working. And it's going to take a guy like Donald Trump with the experience, with the passion, with the energy, and the no entanglements. He's financing his own campaign, and he spent probably the least amount, and he's getting the most attention. So one other thing is, some pundits, of course, are saying that Donald Trump was starting to slip in the polls, so he came out with his Muslim comment so he could get back in the media. But these are the same pundits that say Donald Trump is not qualified to be president. He doesn't know what he's doing. So is he a political genius, or is he not? Right? Because he seems to be garnering the attention that everybody else wants for free. For free. And, of course, this is driving him up in the polls. Oh, one final thing. If you are not in favor of Donald Trump, please tell your candidate to get out of the race. Okay? There are still, 15 candidates in the race? Now, not all of them are probably going to qualify to get on the ballot, but a lot of them will. Even at 30, 35, 40%, which Donald Trump has, he will win all three of the first primary. So that's Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina. He will win all three of those primaries based on today's polling numbers. And that's it. It's pretty much a lock after that. There may be a couple of, number twos, but, let's say it is Cruz. What about a Donald Cruz ticket? Think about that. You got a Northeasterner, Donald Trump from New York. You got Cruz from Texas. A principled conservative and a principled businessman. That could be a winning combination. Definitely would be a winning combination to go against Hillary Clinton. But Cruz is not going to be the presidential nominee as far as we can tell at this point. All right, I'm Holy Joe Rock and Roll. That is what's in the news and my analysis based upon what has been happening the last week or so. Until next time, stay tuned and peace out.
We're watching In the News, a feature of HJRR TV and presented by the Reverend Dr. Holy Joe Rock and Roll. Please rate us, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to this channel for more In the News.